let's see if I remember correctly. It's more of an update and extended progress, kind of like moving on to the following up the last one, right? So we don't have
Yeah.
to. Okay. Don't have to go into.
Shouldn't have to touch on too much things.
Yeah.
I kind of put a little things I want to focus on, but we could
All right.
touch
Yeah.
on a few
Okay,
things.
I can look at that. Short-term goals. Optimize get into C-Tenant party. Learn C-Tenant. Okay. Long-term 6-month-ish. Black Mage. All right. So you're planning on doing some grinding?
Yeah, I haven't did it in a while, but the new update brought me back in a while. Of course, that's updates are supposed to do.
Yep. Yeah. They're doing their job for sure. Yeah, getting access to extra areas, faster Cernium symbol leveling, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
All of the shiny carrots on yummy sticks or whatever, all of the pleasantries. Upgrade priority for shining. Gotcha. So it's July 9th. That's, well, it's not directly around the corner, but it's like 2.5 weeks away, right?
Right.
Ring priority, G-Slime how 2. Okay, so accessories. Mainly just accessory question, and then arcanes. Box strat, okay. And maybe swapping into stronger Meso and drop gear. Yeah, so we're a little bit on I mean, I guess we can start with any other things, but like the thing that stands out to me exactly immediately is like the Meso and drop gear thing. That's a very legit question, because we have what's most likely coming in KMS, right? We've got like the nerf for the HP for the monsters. So it seems
Right.
like if all the other upgrading goes well, that we shouldn't need to have too crazy of drop in Meso gear to be
Oh
able to
yeah. Right.
still train in those areas. So I would probably put that one on hold, and focus more on the other stuff, more of the hybrid upgrades, right? That help you both in mobbing and in bossing, and focus on those
Right.
mostly. And with a
That
little
makes
bit of
sense.
luck and a little bit of power creep and a little bit of 6 job skills, we might be able to squeeze by without needing, like 21-star Meso equips and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't even consider the whole change. You're right.
And it's possible that you still need to, but at that point, you should have the money. You'll probably be at the point where you're saving up for such big chunks of upgrades that then throwing that towards the drop in Meso gear, if it's still necessary, is something that you'll be able to do at that point and just instantly, and then just make your upgrades move on. It's also a far cry from doing your dailies when you're just like in a random legion, in a random link skill and hyperstat setup, and you're just kind of like hopping around and killing the monsters, versus
Right.
okay, I'm going to grind, I'm going to do the full checklist, set everything to 100% efficiency, alternate guild skills, like do all of those things. It's probably something
It's
like
a big difference.
yeah, it's got to be like something like an 80% final damage difference or something between the two situations, and you have a lot of summons, right, that can hit a lot of times before.
Right.
Like, how many times can they hit in 7 seconds?
No idea. I know the only thing that struggles, where I train at Fire Spirits right now. The only thing that struggles to clear is my little siege bomber.
Is that the one that replaces the old, like, little octopus dudes, basically?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they
RIP
they say that one's
octopuses.
kind of hard.
Okay.
Everybody in the Discord says that one's kind of hard to get to one
Mm-hmm.
shot things.
So even with max boost node, they probably just don't have enough lines of damage, I'm assuming, because it's a low level skill.
Yeah, it's.
Is it third job or?
Yeah, it's my third job.
Mm-hmm.
It's third job, and it only does 300%. I don't know how many lines.
Does it say like 3 times, 2 times, something like that?
It doesn't say any times. It just says cannon damage 300%.
Well, if it's one line, that would explain. Because yeah, then it's definitely really hard to kill with it. Yeah, maybe some like semi-overlap with other areas. But again, like all the other ones are so strong, right? Like I don't know the names, but like the golden boat is like really strong.
Yeah, the boats clear 2 ramps at a time, and so those
Yep.
are all good. And my Erdr Pound is pretty strong too.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually don't even have to move that much now at Fire Spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which is, oh, it's
benefits
almost
of the Corsair, I could snap.
yeah, but yeah. Oh yeah, or yeah. Well, if you're are you already at the biggest map, or you did take like this the medium map?
Eastern City Ramparts 2 is usually where I go. Like I
Two.
said, I literally have to stand on the one platform, and
Mm-hmm.
everything else just jump left, jump right, and everything else clears.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, like the general advice for the training is just like if you can see that you are that you're clearing, and then it's pretty close to the monsters respawning, and you're clearing pretty much everything in the map, then you're in the best map, right? But if you find yourself either having to wait like 2 or 3 seconds before any kind of monster shows up, or you know you're not even remotely able to clear the map, and there's like half the monsters left at the time that they respawn, you either need to switch your strat or switch your map. But if you feel like you're kind of in that sweet spot, then you know you're probably getting about the best rates that you possibly could, EXP wise at least, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm at that sweet spot. Like I said, that siege bomber, sometimes I have to go up there and help it towards the end. So.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like on my DA, I hope that whenever I fire my nether shields, I hope that they fly down, because it's easier to just jump up a little bit and then glide through the rest of the monsters and kill them all with frenzy. But then the monsters on the bottom of the map, if the shields go up, then I just have to go down and kill the bottom. But basically, just wait, summon the shields, look where they go, and then go the opposite side. Because if you pick a side, they always come to the same side where you are, and it's just you're like fighting each other with respawn. Yeah, I guess they do. You're like, I'm facing the right, I'm jumping to the right while I'm throwing the shields, and then I move over to the left, and then they just go to the left. And it's like, bro, like, come on. But
you
yeah,
knew where I wanted you to go, but you didn't listen.
Yeah, they just didn't. Yeah, disobedient. I guess I don't have enough gym badges to control them or something. I don't know. At least they have a little bit bigger range now with the update, so that's nice. So they do stretch out a little bit further, and they wait a little bit longer on researching targets, or they have a little bit of a wider range of researching targets as well. So that's pretty cool.
That's
okay, but you're enjoying grinding, and you're gonna go at it for longer.
Yeah, I still enjoy the Corsair. I still plan to be it's where I put most of my time in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on my marksman is doing the Monster Park now.
You got a little bit more. Yeah, there we go.
My bad. Yeah. So I was working on my marksman, doing the Monster Park, because I kind of enjoy that class too. But with the burning, I've kind of stopped doing it with him and just doing it with my burning character for now.
Okay. So but you're still making like overall Legion progress. I already passed 8.5 though, so now every progress is just more like cosmetic rather than functional. Seriously. I mean, some of the progress you can still make is in maybe some Starforce. Well, are you going to make some 210s with the tickets? Are you planning on that?
I'm not sure if I wanted to do the 210s. I was trying to make my bossing mules a little bit stronger. I haven't decided.
I see you have your level 3 links, right? So
I think I have them all.
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, it's either that, or if you want to level the Kali, maybe.
Oh, yeah, true. Make it easier to hit the 230 so I can...
Yeah, because she stops at 200,
not
so
have to train it, yeah.
Exactly, I'm planning to slam all those tickets on. I think if you use them all at 200, you can get to something like 214 or something. So, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'll probably do that then.
Easy levels.
And then I use the other little free coupons we get from the... what is it called?
From the greetings week, that one?
Yeah, the other one, the Wongstrong.
Oh yeah.
The coins, the little check-ins as you come to 300 coins, and it gives you the growth potion selected coupons.
Right, yeah. And I guess other than that, well, since we're on the topic of Meso and drop a little bit at least, the bossing mules are settling in quite well. Yeah,
I have a couple upgrades to make. My hero is probably my next. He hasn't been funded yet. He's 220. He just hit 220, and he's got his attack speed +1 too. So that was all good. So I just gotta fund him during Shining, and probably try to find my Wind Archer too if if I have more Mesos, because I still want to focus on the main, of course. But I'll probably give a little bit of money to the hero for sure, and possibly the Wind Archer as well.
And what's your goal? Are you aiming for like a certain amount of crystals sold right now, or are you just kind of like seeing what you have time for?
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing it with a tempo. I did a bunch all at once, and then I was like, that's like as I started to die down from Maple for a little bit, and I was like, maybe I made too much. But then now that I'm active again, I feel like I have more time again. I'm doing like 2. I've already cleared all my bosses this week, so I feel like I could add at least 2 to 3 more. So my burning character for sure, and which is gonna be just my buck, and then
Nice.
my
There should be
hero,
easy
and
slime and below for my bucket did that as well. Does slime very well. It's got the 3-minute burst, so syncs with
yeah.
the timer.
So yeah, so the buck, the hero, and possibly the wind archer. So maybe for sure adding 2 more, maybe possibly a 3rd one. But other than that, I'm not aiming to try to clear crystals. I'm just aiming for what I comfortable with, and I'm not a super min maxer either. So it's not a big deal if I miss things.
That's good. Well, I can tell you're not a Superman Maxer because I saw your Legion, and there's a lot of.
Yeah, I knew the comment was coming. I knew it.
had to sneak it in there, right? I mean, I totally understand. It's like you're getting some level 140 pieces to 200, and if you're moving around for every single one, you're getting at the point now though where you can start bleeding over into critical rate. Corsair itself doesn't need it at all, right?
Yeah, but a couple of my boss mules do, yeah.
Because boss mules, Buccaneer for mobbing can maybe use a little bit, right? So you don't have to switch too much in setups between mobbing and bossing. But you could elect to just start filling in the middle of the grid first, and have more like specific, like a mobbing one with critical rate, right? That's what you have, yeah. And then for the bossing one, just focus more on the middle stats, because it's not like your main is an archer where you can tap into vicious shot gains there.
Right.
Yeah, it's mainly it's mainly just the one little extra block in the middle, right? That's kind of lost. If you switch that mage piece over with an archer piece, you can and take it down 1 on the left side, then you can just finish up the line without it like bulging up like that, and you just switch the middle stats. But you can probably start building up the attack, yeah. I mean, there's like 1 5-piece of extra filler there now, right? So it's 1 here, it's 1 there, it's 1 there, and then before you know it, it's like a whole piece. Yeah, it just adds up after a bit. But now you have only 200 and 200 plus pieces in there, right?
I believe so. Where's this stuff
The mechanic, I think, is the last one, and that's a 200, or the blaster, maybe.
No, yeah, there's a.
Oh, Laura
my
is
Laura
in
is still in it. Yeah, but other than that, I just need 1 more, I guess.
If you're gonna
just
redo
waiting on those free growth pots.
Yeah, exactly. If you're if you know where the Lara is, try to put her near the side where she can like bleed into extra and not like lock her in, because then you have to redo it again, you know.
Right, that makes sense.
What I usually do is I just take pieces that aren't gonna the ones that are extra. You kind of want to see how many are extra right now. So you see there's 3 extra on the left, which is not the size of a piece you have. Unless one of those pieces is the Lara, then taking the Lara out and shuffling the rest on the left will fix that. You know, as long as you just keep shifting stuff enough around. At least that's how I do it. But I mean, the big Legion Solver is also an option, of course.
Right. I think that's what I know that was. My plan was to wait for this hyper burn and where my stuff goes from the growth pot, or in the Cali, because that'll probably replace the Laura, and then
I see.
With that, I'll probably just put everything in the Legion Solver and have it do it for me.
Yeah, I mean, whatever floats your boat on that one. That seems fine. Yeah, and then the other setup has like a little bit of the same problems, but it's got a good setup, so no worries on that one. Oh god, this is so nitpicky, but is the top right field of the EXP that's not filled, right?
I think it's missing. Yeah, it's definitely missing. Yeah.
Was it like 9.75? Yeah, that's making all the difference, man. That's that 0.25 additive EXP. That's destroying your gains right now. Nah, just
I know. I get you. I hear you.
Yeah. No, it's just a little bit of cleaning up. It just sucks that, you know, Maple gives you all of this stuff for leveling up your characters, but then unless you place everything perfectly afterwards, you still don't get it.
Doesn't
right?
do anything.
You have to capitalize on it. You have to put that extra little work in. You have to put those hyper stats in perfectly. You have to put that Legion grid in perfectly. You have to put your money on your equips, but it's not enough to just make it. Like, you get those drops, you have to walk over them with your pet. Like, you can't just have them, right? It's always that little extra hoop you have to jump through to capitalize on the work you've already put in. It's part of the...
That's why we love Maple. Our next one, I should say.
Yeah. Hell yeah. You didn't mention Shining a little bit, so I guess we can segue into that. Um, although maybe that's a bit too early because I want to check all the other stuff out first before we get to the equips. But you're looking for Shining on the mules a little bit, but that's just like side in terms of
Yeah, that's
percentage of
just
your money.
it'll just be sending them to 16, maybe 17, depending on my Mesos.
Okay.
But for sure, just 16s. That'll be it. Like I have a couple Absol gears that are completely blank and stuff like that, but
Okay.
it won't be too big of an investment. I don't expect to spend too much on them.
No, like a few bill max probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which with some boss mules, that's like not even like a week's worth of money, so that should be very easy to do. Let's check the other things first with where you're at now. Which bosses are you doing so far? What do you have any kind of connections to the parties?
No, I do H. Will with Scardorius, the guy that's in our guild, the DA.
Oh yeah.
So
Misericords,
we do Lou Will, and then I was in a party with him where we were doing Lou Will and everything, and then like we kind of split up. So it's me and him just do Lou Will, and then he's really strong and really strong. So I think he does his own C10 penalty with other people. So other than that, I just do everything else up to I do normal Damien. I've tried to do H Lomian and H Damien, but I practiced when I quote unquote stopped playing Maple too much, probably like 2 months ago, and I haven't tried since. So I feel like I probably have the stats to do it. I just need to put the time in to learn and actually focus on dodging. I think a big part of my issue when I was trying to clear it was I was trying to get in extra hits instead of just focus on surviving while I'm still learning, and then worry about increasing my DPS as I get better and more confidence in doing the boss. But
a little bit overzealous on the damage. Yeah.
DPS. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I'm almost 100% positive I have the stat to do it, and all the IED and everything to do it. I just need to put the time in to learn.
Well, I would say at 36, I wasn't doing it myself either. It was really once I started once I got to like 40 is when I felt more comfortable to kill them. I mean, it's not that it's not possible, of course. Like, you know, some people do it at like 22 K stat or something ridiculous. I don't know, like Kobe's Buck. I think did it like 18K or something ridiculous. But I don't even know how mathematically that works out. But there's like a difference between being able to go in and have like if you could kill like hard Lotus, hard Damien, and then maybe like normal slime, depending on if you're doing normal slime or hard that week. And you're able to do all of those within like half an hour. That's like decent. But if you take like a full timer on individual hard Lotus or hard Damien, I would never advise to do it. I would say either find a party or just blow up normal and just wait until you're stronger and then come back to it.
Yeah, that's kind of the other thing. I felt like it was taking a long time too, and like you said, I didn't want to take too long. And then I feel like to go back on why it's like you said, some people do it at lowercase stats, but that's like when I first cleared C-Vel or whatever. I felt like but now my boss mules I could do it because I know the mechanics, I know how to play, I know what risk I could take, and so like that's probably what helps other people to clear H Lotus and Damien earlier, so because they know what to do, and I'm still learning, so it's not a big deal to me.
What I notice if you find especially with hard Lotus and maybe with hard Damien probably less, right? It just takes too long. Because the same mechanics as normal Damien is actually really easy. It's more hard Lotus is more like the extra stuff falling, and then there's like one platform and he's standing right on top of it and he's gonna knock you back. Like of course he is.
Yeah.
You have like knowing your kit intimately in terms of like what gives you knockback resistance, what gives you temporary immunity, what allows you just survive bigger hits, and just holding on those skills until there is a time where you absolutely need it. That might make your runs longer, but that will guarantee you the clear, right? So that goes a little bit into what you were saying with maybe being a little bit overzealous and trying to confirm your damage. Always, any kind of big damaging skills you want to use, always use it right after the purple ball phase, because the worst part is just like tapping any kind of damage and burst, and then only having the 10 seconds in bind, and then he just like yeets himself out of the boss battle, and then it's like, ugh, like fuck you, yeah. And you're trying to dodge those purple balls while stuff is falling, and maybe you're like spinning around and shit. Like it just makes it even harder to do that. The other thing that helped for me was basically turn up the dial for practice up to like a 12 by doing a way harder boss and then coming back to the boss. So like Hard Lotus was always still a little bit, there's a lot of stuff going on until really I started doing like Black Mage practice. And then once you're starting to get better at phase 3 for Black Mage, even if it's a really slow process like it was for me, going back to Hard Lotus at that point was like, there's like nothing going on here. Like this boss fight, I could do it with like one eye closed and one arm behind my back at this point.
Right.
Just because Black Mage is so much harder. You have to respond so much faster, so much more shit. And something similar could also be if you're trying to... Because level-wise you're there, you could start practicing like Gloom and Darknell, the normal ones. Just being in there and just trying to survive. With how quick you have to survive to dodge things there, I think that could also translate very well because there's just a lot of shit falling from the sky, you know? And the boss that's doing attacks at the same time, and yet you really have to prioritize like what does 100% damage, what does 50% damage. Learning to use blink more, right? Like just going up in the air and just blinking for a little bit and just hanging there and just kind of taking a little bit of a break in the air and seeing like, okay, what do I need to do? That's a very powerful tool, especially once you're going into Chaos Tenebris as well, using your cleanse skill more, right? The Urda's Will and your normal, what is it, Explorer's Will, or I don't know what it's called exactly. But putting those on a good key so they're accessible, right? Same with the blink, like learning where on your keyboard are they, like building that muscle memory on where they are. Because it will get you out of situations quite often, way more than you think. We were never really programmed to use those at all, unless you're like, not trying to get sealed in CPAP or something, but like, by the time that is relevant, you're just blowing up CPAP, so it's not even an issue anymore. So those are definitely like the little things, and then maybe leveling up the Nova skill. I don't know if your Matrix is in here, but like it's pretty useful to have that one leveled up with a shorter cooldown. You've got it at 13, that's already pretty decent. But especially if you're going to go towards Black Mage eventually, like you want to get that close to max, right? But you still got room to grow on the boost nodes. I think that's where where the ship is as well, right? That's not one-shotting yet, so it's got some final damage to gain.
It took me forever to even get my perfect, because you need 6 or...
Need 6, right?
It took me forever. I think I was 259 when I finally got all 6 of them.
Hey, man, it's not the worst I've ever heard, but I'm glad you got them.
So, and then I was putting a lot of nodes into my... Well, not a lot, but probably like 300 or 400 each into my mules, so...
I see, yeah. Yeah, there's still some gains to be made, right? Like the Goddess Blessing will help you burst a lot, and the Pirate Flag goes up in uptime, so that's extra IED and extra stat as well for standing in that. So that's still good scaling. And then you haven't used you're not using Overdrive here. Is that because this is more of a mobbing setup?
I think because I think honestly that's probably that's my mobbing setup for sure. So and then the Overdrive, I remember reading in the Discord, in the little Corsair Discord, they said to not use Overdrive until it was a certain level because of the minus 15 base power kind of negates the effectiveness depending on how high of a level it is. I haven't looked into it for a while, to be honest. That was like way back, probably during my last progression, so almost a year ago. So I'd have to re-look into it of the actual usefulness for...
Well, I would never use it for mobbing, right? Because for mobbing, you're looking for a constant stream of damage, so you don't want it to hurt your attack in terms of, like, maybe hurting your kill speed for a cycle. That would be bad, right? But the way I see it is because it takes a percentage of your base attack of your weapon. Like, the earliest I would use it is if you have an Absolab weapon, but probably not until you have an arcane weapon, and that's also because of the scaling on the level. So it does scale better with your level, but they took down the duration. They switched the duration uptime. I think it might be after Savior, but they're changing the uptime on it a little bit to synchronize it better with other skills. And they were like extending the cut period, but then they took that away again in the Tespia. But the way I see, you definitely want to only start using it when it's at a decent level. You probably don't want to use it at level 9, but I'm just more saying it as in terms of like if you are going... It's like the final growth stage, right? Like you're finishing up your boost nodes, you're finishing up your skill nodes, but then like the flag, the goddess blessing, and the overdrive, those are really like the icing on the cake for like the final stages of the boss fight in terms of maximizing your burst damage, because the burst
Right.
is still pretty significant, right? With Corsair, you got your big
Yeah.
Nautilus and stuff, and then
Yeah, and it changed in Savior too. It actually got more burst favored. They
okay,
rearranged some of our skills essentially, so
okay, that's
burst is
nice.
definitely more.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that should help and give extra value to overdrive, especially if you combine it with something like an Ozring or something like that. Like that will make sure that burst is just way harder, and especially in team fights and stuff like Chaos Tenebris and in stuff like Black Mage, you want that team fight burst damage with all the the team buffs on there. You want to make sure that you maximize. So node wise, you still have a lot of room for growth here, which is also good, right? It's good that not everything has to come from just shining Starforce, because then there's just only
Right.
pressure on that. But there's a little bit of pressure that you can like more evenly distribute along the game. But that means events that come out, you still have incentive to buy out all the nodes there. What some people do, I mean, there's some advanced stuff, but I guess since pretty much everyone and their mom is making the 250 into a bossing mule, it doesn't make that much sense. But some people who just get a character level 250 but don't need a boss mule, they'll just like extract all the nodes, turn them into node stones, right, and then just feed them back into a character that needs it, just to recoup a little bit of the value. That's a possibility. I don't know, for some people out there. Probably not for you because you're turning it into a bossing mule. But
Boss mule, yeah.
so if you do the bossing setup, what do you typically switch out here? You switch out Holy Symbol, Shower.
Yeah, Holy Symbol, Shower, and that's usually it. I'll usually, depending on if we need a bind, sometimes I'll switch out the bind, and I throw in Blink. Don't really use the will skill or anything like that. As you were saying, I don't really. I haven't. There's not bosses that I really needed in yet, but I'm sure for Lotus I'll probably switch it in for Lotus when I start actually doing Lotus.
When you said will skill, you mean like the True Ragnar Reflection, or you mean the Erda's
Oh
will?
no, the Erda's will. Sorry.
Because Reflection is also okay damaging skill as well. You don't use it for mobbing or bossing right now?
The Erda will. I mean the will skill, the spider thing I
Yeah, the
use
spider, yeah.
for the Culvert. I think I swapped that out for my Blink. Instead of having Blink, I'll put the
Yeah.
that. So for Culvert, I do the will skill, and then I think I actually do. Or that's the one time I run the Pirates banner, or the what is it called, Overdrive.
Because I'm thinking that the decent blessing probably is a little bit too early in there.
Too early. Okay.
Because now you have total weapon attack in your stat window, right? So you can see how much of that is what do we got here? Like 3,000 attack. And what's your multiplier right now? Like 75% or something? Let's see.
I'm on it.
20, 30, 40, 60-ish percent? 59, is that what you have?
Equipment. So it says I'm on, but I have other buffs on, so it might be inflated with my dice. But I have 3,400 attack power, and then it is boosted by 61%.
61%, yeah.
So and like, skills is 21%.
Yeah. 61, yeah. So it's like the 20 attack from the blessing is giving you like 32 attack or something like that, right? Out of, what'd you say, 3,400? So that's 100th, right? So that's like 1%. So you can kind of say that that's like 1% of your BA. But if you put the reflection into like your BA when you're bossing, I think it's closer to like 2 to 3%, I think. So I think the skill by itself, just by, and BA is different, right? Because it dedicates all the hits and everything, right? So in the boss fight, it's not as specific.
Right.
But if you're more DPM heavy, if it's 40 seconds. If that hits more during a burst, then that gets augmented. But if you're more DPM, right, which you probably somewhat are, right, because of all the summons doing a lot of the damage.
All the summons, yeah. Especially my crew members do a lot.
Yeah, crew members.
Especially under my Whaler's Potion.
yeah,
Did a lot.
they get your. Is it the crew members that you get your crit to 100%?
Is that who does it? Let me see. Look it up.
Because remember, like in the past, they had like a passive buff that would rotate, and one of them was crit, so it was really unreliable. But then I think they gave it just like the passive to be a little bit lower, but give all of the stats at once.
Oh.
Yeah, Corsair might be a bit of my blind spot because
Okay.
not as common as you
Nobody
want.
plays them.
Don't you mean Nakama? Yeah, your pirate crew.
No, it's not associated. Crew members doesn't add crit.
Okay. But you do get to 100%, right? Because I see here in picture
Yeah,
86.
easily.
Yeah. Was that just like a link skill diff or something?
I have to. It's probably my the decent sharp eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That adds 15, doesn't it? Right?
10. 10 adds 10.
10. Let me look real quick. Not sure why it didn't hit.
Yeah, it might be just pick up right here. You also have around 3,000 attack power, so might just be.
Didn't have everything on.
You have around 36k stat here. That's still accurate, right? When you're in game now.
Yeah. 35,947.
Mm-hmm.
My crit comes from, so I have 80 skills, Legion member, equipment 2, basic 5. I don't know why it had to be.
I think in link skills, but
No,
I don't know if you
cause
usually use them.
no, I don't. I don't even swap over my link skills almost ever. I tend to, unless I'm grinding, like you said, when I go into a full grinding session.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it gives 10. Where did it come from?
Okay,
Deactivate it. That goes on 92. Jolly Roger. I'm trying to deactivate all my stuff right now to figure out where it came from.
Oh,
Okay, that's where it came. I just got it.
Did you summon your crew members?
Yeah, I think they did. I think you're right. Yep, crew members gives 10%. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the crew plus the sharp eyes that gets you to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And those are up all the time, right? Like, cause that's passive. Yeah. I think it was 15% before, but then it would only be like one of the 3 crew members would give it, so you wouldn't always have it. So it was super unreliable. So you still had to go to 100% without it, which meant that it was just bullshit buff. So in Destiny, they redid a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Same thing with all the crit in the. Well, it's a good thing to know on the side, right? Because you, like for me as my arc, I know that if I'm at 70% visual without being buffed, I know that I'm at 100 because I can always have the Scarlet Drive up for 20 and Decent Sharp Eyes up for 10, and that 30 I always have. So it's good to know when you're aiming for certain metrics that are important, like 100% crit, that you want to know for your class by heart. Like I know where those sources are coming from. I know where my ID is coming from. I know where my crit rate is coming from. Those are the most important stats.
Right.
So that does mean you could technically go down 6, but I don't even know if you have nothing in hyperstat. So I don't even know how you would start doing that.
Comes from. Let me look at it again real quick. Seems to be coming from skill 70, basic 575. Something's giving me 2% for my equipment. I don't know what equipment's giving me 2%.
Equipment 2%. That could be familiars?
No, my familiars aren't on right now.
Oh.
Or does it? Maybe the badges count as?
Familiar badges. Someone says in chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, I see it right there. Yep, that's where it's coming from.
I mean, if they're only giving crit rate, then you can switch them out. But if they're giving something nice and crit rate, then I mean, obviously you take that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's giving me it. There's. Looking at my badges, there's nothing else. Max HP or magic attack. So.
There's always like. It took me a long time to get it to not have any really shitty ones even on my arc, and I think I still have one that's kind of eh.
Right.
But yeah, there's some gains to be made there, but that's typically after, you get to the whole 275, 280 area that you start like min-maxing on your badge, on your badge buffs. Your card gets a percentage attack and some extra ID in there.
Right.
What were we talking about? Bossing progress, VMatrix. Yeah. I guess since we also talked about bossing mules, maybe not yet, but once you're definitely getting into like the Chaos Tenebris parties and that kind of stuff, and you want to go towards Black Mage, I would say then is also a good time to rethink or to at least consider like the inner ability and whether you want to stay with the Meso Obtain or if you just want to go for full on. I assume it's boss damage on the top line, right?
Yeah. So yeah, probably. I figured as I grind, it'll help. So at least till I get to probably 270, 275 is when I'll probably reconsider between those 5 levels.
Yeah, I would say more so than whether you're training or not, because you are training in our Grandis, where the total amount of Meso is just not that impressive. So the percentage will also represent a smaller amount. More so, I would look at how many boss mules are you doing, and what is the income of all of your boss mules versus what is the income of your main character. Because if that's like a 95 to 5% split, then taking a 20% additive cut on that 5% is not going to hurt you at all. But getting a 15 or 18 or 20%, I don't know exactly, 16 to 20, I think, percent boss damage on this character might actually make a significant increase for the character. So,
I hear you.
Especially once you get the upcoming boss mules in, I would take that as a consideration. And you have like almost 2 mil honor, so it's not like that's almost like guaranteed hitting a boss at least once. So, during 50% off, right? Because it looks like from the inner ability that you've been really good with that. So either I gave you really good advice last time, or you were already on the right path there. Whatever, whatever. I'll take partial credit.
Let's just
either
say
way.
You did it. Yeah,
let's just give me all the credit right now. Yeah. No, but something went definitely very right there, because I have people who have like, 20 Meso Obtain and then an okay epic line, and then have 0 honor experience, and like, oof, you've got like at least another year and a half in you before you can even start trying to do something. But you're already in a prime position to be able to use that for something. So that's definitely a good position to be in. But yeah, I guess ends stat window. Okay, I'm just trying to keep the timestamps right so that you can also find the stuff that we talked about later. But yeah, you're getting some extra free stat, quote unquote, now with Sacred Power. Once you get 265, you don't get an extra symbol, but with New Age, 265 is a new symbol for Hotel. You sadly have to go all the way to 270 for the second symbol. Little brutal. But at least you get an extra daily, so you speed it up, which is
extra.
Necessary.
15 at that point.
And with the new weeklies, the Asphera one will be much more relaxed to max out, I imagine.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't doing it before, but with the weeklies, I do it now, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Totally understandable. But yeah, I guess if you look at the progression grid and you compare that, I guess the main thing you're behind. Is it your potentials?
Probably my potentials are.
Because your Starforce
most of them are 2. Yeah. Most of them are 2 line. So I mean, I don't. And then one of my.
Yeah, I guess your Starforce is a little bit on the lower side. I mean, we have a Shining coming up, so it makes sense that you would take a step back for that, and then push harder.
Yeah, I'm a strictly event. Hard Starforce. Yeah, I do little stuff here and there, but actual tapping, I don't. I'm perfect. Like I said, I'm not a min max. I'm perfectly fine to wait. Nobody was pressuring me for bosses or anything, so I didn't feel any true pressure to make any hard games. I'll just wait for the savings.
I see. It's very and you can maybe talk to Newbie about this, but Newbie also did the thing where he basically just grinded his way. I would say like all the way up to 275, but even like towards 280 on I think a less stat than you. I think he was like 30. I think he might have been high 20s or like 32k stat or something on his Adele. All the way on that level. And then it's like you have this level that you could where you're like expected to do all these bosses, but he had nothing like damage wise, he had nothing to his name, so he had to start completely from the ground up. But he had a long time, build up backups and stuff, so he had a solid foundation. But then it could be fun to grind for a long time, and then you have to suddenly do completely 180 in your priorities. So I like to personally, for myself and for at least for advice, I like to keep the balance a little bit more than that. But I do want to emphasize that you do what's fun for you. But it seems like the main goal is those bosses. So I would definitely, especially just for the normal Tenebris bosses, just go in there and just kind of just look at the mechanics, see how fast you have to respond, see what hits you, see how hard it hits you, because in chaos it's only going to hit you harder, and it's only going to get more complicated. If you can learn and get better at it within the Savior update, I think you're going to have a really easy time after the Savior update, because they're redoing a lot of the bosses, and it's mainly the Chaos Tenebris bosses that are going to be made quite a bit easier. Well, HMAG is going to be made a lot easier, but yeah, that's not really... for your bossing mules, that's nice, right? You'll be able to like duck the blue, take way less damage, you know.
I think my bossing mules... I'm pretty sure they either they kill them in the bind, or they'll be like an extra 10-15 seconds, so it's not a big deal. My bossing mules are...
Yeah, low level bossing mules will have an easier time there, but it's mainly like, for example, like during the Darkness and Gloom, there's no longer going to be balls falling, which is like an extra layer of incredible nuisance right now, and that being gone is really nice, because then it's basically like we also get dark side like all the thief classes. So that'll be nice. There's general other stuff on like certain things just hitting you not quite as hard. Combinations of I can't remember all the changes, but it's mainly C10A that's it's going to go down a lot. But so right now the C10A experience is 0, like no Vihila.
I haven't did nope, I haven't did any of them other than the story bosses. So
yeah, and that's I've watched
videos on them, but I haven't never jumped into them. Like I said, our party that was doing the H-Lu wheel planned on doing Zentini as we got stronger, but we split up probably about 2 months ago, just due to scheduling.
Yeah. And do you still have you reached out at all to the people to see, like, do you guys have room in a party? What their situation is right now?
I haven't talked to... I talked to one of them. Probably like a week ago, kind of caught up with one of them, but I haven't talked to the other ones. I could probably reach out to them, because I know they still play, because they're still on my buddy list and everything, so I see them log in. So I could probably reach out to them and see where they're at and how they've progressed, and if they've got space. And
not like anyone owes anything, but just kind of see what the situation is. Because if they're like, I was planning on kind of splitting up, and but I maybe they are pretty strong, but they can't solo, and they're looking for like a duo partner. I don't know, like, there could be situations, and they have a friend that has a Kana, and then you kind of just do like 2 attackers, 1 support. Maybe they get prio on the pitch, but then you have access to a lot more practice and to getting better at the boss, plus access to arcane backups, which can be very expensive. So that in itself could be a temporary solution and could give you value to a certain point as well.
Yeah, worst they could say is no, so I mean, it's not a big deal.
Exactly, worst they can say is no, but maybe they know someone else, maybe they were like, I partied with this person, but they're looking for, I mean, scheduling is always going to be a thing, and you're never going to be in the same party for 5 years. There's like one party I've been in technically for 4 years, but the party composition has never been the same for longer than like a 3 to 4 month stretch. People join, people leave, people switch characters, like it just, it's pretty normal for that to happen. But you got to get started somewhere, One thing I've learned is that the parties don't come automatically. Like even for Black Mage, I was waiting for so long, and then kind of here and there, and even with the connections that I have, it was like I still had to like go out there and kind of like start asking. Even like Saren, and like not doing at all, because it just doesn't come automatically. If I really want it, I have to go get it. I don't really want it, so that helps. But if I really wanted it, look.
That's what I had to do for we started out as the wheel party, and like I said, I was kind of before that I was kind of just waiting, like, I'll put my name out here and there, but then eventually I was like, well, nothing's happening, so I made the party, I got us all together, and I made it happen from there. So like you said, you have to be the one that jumps out. You can't wait for somebody to come looking for you, because everybody's looking. So.
Yeah, well, everyone's waiting, but few people are like actively out there looking. So usually if you start looking and you organize, you can very quickly get together like 4 or 5 people and then find like a fill. It's actually doable, but getting then everyone together on a regular schedule, once you you kind of like lead one party, you start organizing, and you start realizing as well why not everyone does it, because it can be fucking chaos. But you learn a lot from it. You learn which people you can trust and have your back, and you can learn which people or like how people respond and how they are on which people you do want in your party and which people you don't, and then you use that information you learn from that for the next one.
Yeah.
I might it might be a good idea. And usually I'm more like I don't really start those things either, but if somebody wants to start, I'll definitely give it the support of my Discord, of my stream, of the guild and everything. Of like if people are in their 260s now and they want to be like new age black mage, I don't know, that rhymes too. It could be catchy, I don't know. To have like major sign up sheets of like people who just want to buy new age, just want to start black mage runs, and they're like prepared to work hard in the next 6 months to like make that happen. It could just be that you get like 30 to 40 people to sign up for that, and suddenly you have like 5 to 6 parties, right? And if you have a lot of people signing up at the same time, you can also just kind of look at like what is the availability. I would make that a priority, and then secondary to the availability, be like, what kind of party composition can you make? Because even if it's just like 1 or 2 weeks that people have run with a certain party, I think immediately you get like some kind of loyalty, or some kind of like people don't want to leave other people behind or fuck other people over, even if it's like a objectively EV plus decision for them to like switch parties with another person. But if you have like one blob of people who are just all running, you can much more easily say like, oh, I can't really have availability, like my schedule doesn't work with this party, but if I switch here and that person switches there, if you're all like within a guild, it's of course easier, because then you're not really leaving anyone because you're still in the same place. But I think that's why a lot of people want, like for black mage stuff, they want people to be in the same guild, because it just makes it cleaner to keep track of everyone.
Right.
But that is something that I could do.
I remember you brainstormed that exact idea with another progression session recently. So, yeah.
Yeah, because again, there are a lot of people, but like trying to get everyone in the same time in the same place. That's the hard part.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe there should be like a PDT room, or like an EDT room, and then if that works, that works. But the problem is if you split up too much from the beginning, then it's even harder for people to find each other. So it's always
it's got to be what time, more like, I feel like, just off the top of my head without even thinking about it, maybe just do like what time frames are you typically playing in and would be available in, and then so because that way it's not really dependent on, or you have to lose like just a UTC time, something universal, and then that way this is what time frame I'm in. Do it to your own time zone. Is this when you play? Is this when you're available? Then you could look for party at that time slot, essentially, rather than breaking up into individual time zones. Just look at actual play time.
I think we're also shifting from really having like people being like a committed 8-month group. Like some people who want to do that is definitely good, but it might also be a matter of like, hey, from now on every every Friday and Saturday evening or something, because gamers have no lives, right? We're just going to be doing like black mage practice, and people can just sign up and show up, and we're just gonna try to make some progress, because there are probably people who are liberated at this point who have never really run with the same party every month. They kind of just like find fills, or just through people have like, oh, there's a slot available here, and they go here, they go there.
I've seen those.
Because you can't really get I mean, once you're started, you don't want to get behind, right? And then if there's scheduling or things come up.
Like you said, it's hard.
There's
anything
just a lot
past
of
2,
factors.
3, 4 months is hard. Real life happens. So
yes, that as well. People move, people go into different programs with school, different job, and then it becomes like our party's gone through a lot of ups and downs in terms of the scheduling, the current one. But I mean, we're set to lib in a little under 2 weeks, so but we're one month behind schedule. But I mean, over 8 months, taking 9 months to do an 8-month project is not the worst, I guess. It's just that everyone died out at least once, like near the end of the month, so we have to kind of move on for all the other people's sake. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, just to reiterate for you and for everyone who's listening, is that if you want to do these things, just having the levels and even having the damage cannot be enough. Like you need, if you can, you have time available, see if there are like black mage struggle runs, maybe start some yourself. Just to get some practice in, because watching the videos is definitely good foundation, but unless you actually go in and you feel what it's like to be doing those bosses, it's just very, very different. Feeling the timing, feeling the attack speed is very different. Even seeing your same class as you do it, they could just make it look so easy. And I'm aware of that, like with my project CRA, right? Because I've already killed the bosses 1,000 times. Like I know the timing, I know the positioning, I know the hitboxes, so I could just take what looks like a lot of risk, but for me it's not risk at all because I know exactly what's going to happen. And then someone looking at it can be like, "Oh, how can you do it with that little stat?" And it's like, just like that, and then they try it and then they die out. It's like, what the hell? Yeah, a lot of it just comes from physical practice, muscle memory, but definitely like, yeah, make sure you use Blink. Learn to use that a lot, and then not too much once you get into Black Mage, and the cleansing skill, so the Urda's Will and I still don't know what the Explorer one is called. It's just Explorer's Will? What's up, Pete?
It's just called, good question, because I don't even have it bounded. It's bounded. Hero's Will.
Hero's Will, there you go. Yeah, Cody said as well, Hero's Will, yeah. And yeah, just because it's very possible that after 3 runs you're like, okay, these keys are in a horrible position, like I can never get to them in time, I need to move them around somewhere, then that's fine stuff to learn during just like struggle practice runs. Those are almost the goal is there to fuck up, but like in the least, or the goal is there to fail, but to learn from the failure pretty much. So those runs can be really good. It might be intimidating to go in there, but like everyone in there is just like a deer in the headlights kind of, this is scary, what are we doing? We're going to fail so hard, but there's so much to learn there from, just getting absolutely blasted by every single attack, maybe not even getting through phase 1, and then finally getting through that phase 1 and everyone being super hyped as fuck, that's, celebrate those victories when you can, until you start taking them for granted. Okay, I guess we'll look at, because we kind of got the topic of like stronger meso and drop gear, that's like okay for now, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
So I'll look specifically at through your equips and look at arcanes and accessories, and then basically shining. That's the main things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let me make a little timestamp here. Okay. First thing I'm checking. Did you have any questions on familiars? Because I see you have them, but maybe it's just for completion's sake.
I was just putting it in there. I think I got really lucky with my fams, all things considered.
Okay, that's really nice.
I already got 2 balls,
I mean, we set a crazy standard on this stream with that last guy, so
I saw that.
So these are garbage compared to that.
Mediocre, yeah.
But in realistic terms, these are great. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ID, like eventually, if that switches into a boss, you'll probably still be fine. But the higher level bosses like Seren, Kalos, and whatever comes after that have crazier and crazier PDR. So I think the meta eventually will be to use an ID familiar anyway, and then you're primed to grab that. And one of them even has a little bit of HP and MP regeneration, which is never a bad thing. And it's a 35 over 30, so we definitely take those. Let me look at your backups right now. You're sitting on some money here in the Silent Crusade coins. You ever bought meso bags with those?
I've never bought anything with them.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I would have guessed because you have 23,000 of them. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of meso bags. That's like 300 a stack.
You don't have to do a quest anymore to spend those? I thought you had to do a quest to do them. I don't think I did the quest.
You can check now if you open up your keyboard shortcuts. If you have the Silent Crusade button, yellow key. If you can press it, I think you can. Yeah, I think you can just buy.
Oh yeah, what's this reward? Let me see.
You can buy up to.
Shop. There it is. Okay, yeah. I can buy.
You can only buy 100 at a time though, so you're gonna have to buy like 7 or 8 stacks. Yeah. And then opening them all as well, but it's like almost 600k per bag, so that's like I don't know, a few hundred mil.
Buy it now. Take it.
Yeah, you won't be done by the end of the session, I think. If you're gonna hold down the button for the rest of the time. I mean, you got spell traces; those aren't really used for anything, so you could NPC those. I guess.
Sell those. Yeah, I just do it when I.
You have you have mainly flower bags instead of material like crystal bags. That's why you have so many ores and stuff. But I mean, etc. space is almost never a thing, right? Because even without coin purse and with all of these monocrystals and stuff, you're never really in a thing. in a bind or anything like that. Use inventory. Did you ever do this special? Oh god, guys, wasn't there like a special bullet achievement or something? Do you know what I'm talking about?
For the stronger bullet.
Yeah, there's like one bullet that can give you like a random damage or something.
I do remember something about a bullet. Let me look in the Discord. I do remember something about.
Yeah, it's got like 1 or 2 more weapon attack than. Oh, here it is. I found it. Glass marbles glimmering in the sun. Receive the buff of a uniquely colored glass marble. Yeah, this one's 25 attack.
Right here. And it gives. Yeah.
Yours is what, 24 probably, right? Like 1 less or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just 1 attack, but it's just something.
But still something, yeah, something I'm sure I've had the time. Actually, it's 22 attack. So it's actually
22, 3 attack, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, I mean, compared to 22, it's big, but compared to the 3,400 attack you have, it's not that big, right? It's like when people looking at the throwing stars, they're like, oh, I want to get the Balanced Fury because it's like 2 more attack. And it's like, bro, it's 2 more attack on like 4,000 attack. Like, it's, you know, it's going to become like 3 attack with the multiplier. It seems like a lot compared to what it is, but it is not that much in the bigger picture. But someone says it took them 4 months to get it. But I did hear some rumors. I don't know if someone is read up on this, that this might get removed at some point, like made into you can take the daily quest on each character and do it on each character daily until you get it. Just don't claim it unless you are on the character you want it on. Yeah, because the achievements are, I mean, technically even you could do it on multiple servers as well, because achievements are like within a count, so you could do it on like non-reboot servers as well if you really want to like min-max and doing it on a lot of characters. But I don't know, is it like a daily quest? What do you have to do, Axel? Do you remember?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It says, for most players, if you would like to obtain Glass Marble, you can do so by going to Shore Town, talking to Grotto, accepting the quest. Continue the quest line. Then you have to get bosses or fight mobs to get these things to drop. The drop rate feels random, takes 13 minutes for 250%. Okay, whatever. Could take up to 2 hours for people to find it. Once it's completed, you have a daily quest called Marble Gifts from Graco that can be completed through the white light bulb. Complete the quest daily for RNG to be on your side and get the buff called Peerless Marble for the achievement. Then once that's done,
yeah, but you could do that per character, and then you can claim it on the Corsair and then have it there, I mean, that's just, that's just something that came to mind because I saw you had this this one, but yeah, that's some endgame shit, of course. Time-wise, there's probably a bunch of other stuff that's more relevant for you. I see a lot of recipe, and you have a recipe bag. Is that just, again, just because you have more than enough space? You just, okay.
I don't feel like, because if I drop them and I pick it up again, it's what's the point of dropping it?
Yeah, I mean, you can get rid of full stacks, right? Like if you have 100 of something, you can get rid of it, so that then it doesn't keep piling on, and then it just can restack. Yeah, I mean, that's me saying with like 5,000 CRA pieces of every kind. You know, like I have, I've got the same affliction. No worries there. You got one back up now. You've got that box still. That makes me remember if I still have it. I still have that. Okay. Do you have the equip backup window as well, or just these two?
Just those two. Oh, I could link it. I'll add it to it right now, or give you something. I don't know why I didn't. Because I do have a lot of item equips.
Yeah, because in Reboot, you know, you just accumulate over time all of those. Like how many dollars?
Wait, hold on. I think I did.
Oh, okay, hang on. Maybe I missed it.
No, yeah, I think I put it somewhere else. Random. Maybe not. I thought I did. I remember taking that screenshot I just took now.
It's gonna be somewhere.
No, guess not. No, okay. All right, I'll do it here.
You're adding it to the album?
Yeah, I'll add it to the album right now.
Okay.
Might have to refresh it. 1 second. I need a paint open.
I'll check out the other stuff for now.
Okay.
You get your weapon here, 6 and 6. every stat except Dex, of course. 80 here. Okay, secondaries 22.
Alright, I just added it.
Okay. There we go. Okay. Those are all superiors? The E-rings?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 belts. Extra glove and a gun. Slime ring, we'd love to see those. What's the slime? So since you're not doing C10, you're probably not doing C slime as well, right? Just from normal?
Yeah, that's the one I've gotten from a normal. We were doing hard in that party I was, but they were all given to the other people that didn't have one yet, so.
I see, yeah. Just trying to get one for everyone and then go from there.
Yeah.
Okay, extra glove. That's a lot of Twilight marks. Love to see that.
Yeah.
Also means you don't want a Berserk drop. You'd preferably have any of the other ones now.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So how did the secondaries come to be in this situation?
So the attack one is what I rolled just way back when I did it, and then I was like, well, let me upgrade to the Pinot and just throw cubes at it. And then I hit that and I was like, well, guess I'm good for boss end mobbing, I guess. So for now, I don't know when I should look at touching them, basically, essentially.
Yeah, have you tried to do battle analysis with both of these and kind of see if there's a difference in BA?
No, I haven't done that.
Because so essentially right now with your current setup, because of the ID line on the emblem, I'm assuming that the one with boss damage and attack is probably still better for you.
Okay.
Also because your weapon doesn't have 3 lines attack, you know, so the attack is probably still scaling better. But what I'm guessing is if the emblem would go for full attack, that potentially the other secondary becomes better. That would be my guess. But either way, they're probably relatively close enough for you to be able to risk one to keep rolling, I would say. So I would say that the Princess No's Falcon Eye, like if it was like double prime in there or something like that, like if it was like 40 boss, 40 IED, and then like a 30 or a 35 boss, then it's probably pushing it over the edge for bossing. But because you want the Princess No to be ultimately the one you're wearing because it has slightly better base stats as well, it looks like you're still good to keep rolling this. Or the other option would be to keep this one and then roll the emblem first. But this would be like in the process of going for 3 line, and then use the gold leaf emblem and the Princess No together, and then just roll either the Frozen Falcon Eye on the side if you're going for 3 line attack, or for like a 12, 9, and 30, or in 35 or in 40, something like that. Or just keep that one for mobbing, this one for bossing, right, and to kind of be done there. Or make another Princess No on the side if you really want those extra base stats on it. Oh yeah, and it has the ID fam as well. Yeah, you have the ID fam. So right now the Frozen Falcon Eye has to be better in both situations. So yeah. But for the Gold Leaf Emblem, it's basically usually like a 30 to 40 bill project at least to really want to commit to rolling something better than this. So until then, you can just roll like random cubes here and there if you're trying to keep the gamble monster at bay and want to do something with itchy fingers. Then you can just throw them on the Princess No's Falcon. It's not like you're missing out on a whole bunch of potential with that one because of the Frozen's already good enough there. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me think. Right. Thank you, Phantoms, for the 30 eat. That's huge, man. Thank you. So yeah, that's that. The weapon, of course, hopefully with Shining you can tap it up to 19. You get that backup. That would be nice. And then eventually that pot has to be redone. So out of all of the WSE, I would definitely be looking towards the weapon first still, because even a 23 attack would be an upgrade.
Right.
But ideally something like, the worst potential you'd want on there is like the same as the Frozen Falcon Eye, right? Like a 35, 9, 10, and 10 then. I would probably keep rolling until you hit that. Yeah.
I think I stopped really early on the weapon. I saw double tens and it was deck, so I was like, whatever. I didn't, like you said, I didn't plan on.
It's fine for first stop,
Yeah,
definitely.
right.
But,
That's what it was. Yeah.
yeah, but then you want to. I will look at everything and we'll kind of see where it structures and stuff. But in terms of the
Okay.
WSE, it's probably
That's the first.
the weapon, yeah,
Okay.
and then
And
the
I'll
emblem
probably
would be
throw
after that.
purples at the princess now.
Yeah.
See
if you hit something nice, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I got my secondary to look exactly like yours here, just with some random solids from bossing mules. It just hit that and it was like, okay, well, thank you. I was aiming for 21, but then it hit that, so I was like, well, that's a W. We take those.
Right.
CRA's looking nice. You're pushing that first. The flames could probably be a little better.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think I've touched the flames since I initially touched them, basically.
Have your flames been going to your bossing mules?
What do I use? I was actually throwing them on my
Or arcanes, maybe?
arcanes. Yeah, I was throwing them on the arcanes as I got them. That's what it's been going.
I see.
They're on a different page, I think.
Speaking of the arcanes, where are those? Oh, wait, they're in the same page, but wait, huh? Oh, this is a different page. Yes, it looked like the same page. My bad. So these are going to be amazing now, right? Because they have been getting all the flames. Let's see. Oh shoot! Yeah, okay. Slow and steady. I mean, we're not getting as many flames from bosses anymore, so it's basically just one stray flame here and there, and mostly just event shops, right?
Right. So I'm just doing the domino. Well, this one got better. This one's the lowest now, and I throw it at that. So it's slow and steady, like you said. I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't think I've bought more than 40 flames my whole time playing Maple. I don't really buy them. Not including the event shops, but actual buying from Mesos.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. Definitely want to prioritize potentials first, then Starforce, and then potentials again after Starforce things kind of rounded out. Okay, let's see everything you have here. So this is like your drop and Meso combination, some double line stuff. All right, so you got full set and split set, like full. You don't have quite 10 drop, right?
Yeah, I get up to 320 drop with everything, and then my Meso's maxed out, of course.
1, 2, 3, 4. You say of course, but what is it maxed out with? Because I only see
the
lines.
black bean. The black bean up top.
Black bean up top. A double drop.
Oh, right there. Double drop. Yeah.
We got double Meso here.
What are you missing?
A line of Meso.
The Meso comes from.
I see Treasure Hunter John. I see one on a Greed Pendant, and I see 200
Eternal
DSs.
Flame Ring. Is that not in there? My Eternal Flame Rings? Did I not put that in there? Oh, yeah. I have an Eternal Flame Ring.
Okay, just a line of.
With it's item drop, Meso drop, and dex.
Oh, also has both. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So with that one, and then with these 3 rings, that's already 5 lines, and then 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, and then 10 on the Sweetwater Pennant. Yeah, okay, so you've got a 10 set and a 5 7 set? That's a pretty... Oh, I guess you have Spirit Pendant for training, right?
Yeah, I use the Spirit for boss.
So
When I open.
So you use that instead of the...
When I swap it out for the Golix. I mean, I drop... Actually, when I...
Sweetwater, I guess, right?
Yeah, I drop it for the Sweetwater, yeah.
Yeah, because the Greed's got the double lines, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what you used to train as well? You were able to train with that set, or you need to equip more damage to train?
No, I can train in like clearing the map with my full item drop as long as I do the full setup. Yeah.
Well, I imagine...
I gotta make sure I do the links, legions, everything, you know.
Imagine like, what is it, like close to 40% HP drop in the monsters, right?
Right, yeah, that's what I didn't even think about it. I just know... I don't even know where maybe it was when I didn't do it before. I had the full arcane set, but I know before I wasn't even close to being able to be in Meso drop gear, or maybe I hit the extra sack. I don't know. Something randomly changed.
The sacred is huge, yeah. It could be the
I know
secret.
one day I was doing something and I was like, man, it takes 2 to 3 shots to do it. And then the next time I try to actually grind, I was like, wait, I could probably do this in my drop and Meso gear. And I was doing it initially with my cycling guild skills, but I don't even think I have to do that anymore. I just have
Yeah.
to watch the map a little more attentively.
Yeah, I was training on my DA with this without anything. I was like, this is fine, and I was like checking my million buffs. It's like, what do I not have on? It's like, oh, I don't have my guild skill on, but then I put it on, but I didn't really see any difference. So I was like, I could probably do without it as well, or with it and then with more drop rate gear, because I'm just in Meso plus damage. But then again, what are you getting from drop rate gear in Cerny right now? Like 2 nodes an hour. And it's like, wow.
Yeah, right. No.
I'd rather have more chance of every single skill I'm using killing it, rather than get like an extra node or 2. Like, yeah, not that important. Okay, so but the drop Meso set is really good, and then accessories was one of your questions.
Yeah.
You've got 21 belt and 2 backups, right? And then you've got yeah. So the tattoo, you wanna swap that out. You wanna send. I mean, you have 5, right? So I feel like that's a very good chance of just going straight up to 22. It's gonna be up to you whether you want a 22 or you're okay with a 21, and then making it perhaps easier for if you ever get a berserk for that to be an upgrade already at 21. I don't know if you have any kind of ideas on what you want to do with pitched, because you don't have any income in that yet, right?
No, I only have the dreamy belt.
Yeah, you have the dreamy belt. I saw that. Yeah.
The last thing. But so yeah, probably I don't know. Even though I do have the 1 CRA that's 22, I'm comfortable with 21, so I'll probably stay at 21 for almost all my stuff until I really need 22s or something. I'm not that person that has the itch to go to 22.
Okay.
I think my CRAs were. I got super lucky with those, so I think I just kept tapping, and I was like, well, I've been so lucky, and I tapped, and then my first 2 pieces went really easily, and then that 3rd piece cost me like all my money. So I was like, oh, I guess it evened out.
Yep, that's how it always goes. The one or 2 go really easily, and then one just eats up all the funds that you saved up, or the first one goes horribly, and then you do a few ones after that, and then they just go immediately, and then. The end of the day, it goes very close to the mean.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't feel that way when you're in the moment. You can
never.
You think about it.
Or you can have one character that's just really lucky, and then another character just makes no gains. But then you look at it over the total amount of money you spent over the entire account, and then and then usually it is pretty fair. Yeah, but it'll never feel fair in the moment. No, because if you're lucky, you're like, oh, I'm just a little lucky, and if you're unlucky, it feels like all of the RNG and everything is against you.
All right. So basically, do the Twilight first, and then Sweetwater. Just maybe think about turning it to Meso drop gear essentially. It's actually, since it's replacing my kind, I'd only need a 1-drop item lane, so I don't even technically need it. I don't know. Well, I guess it's not really necessary because. All right, I understand. Twilight mark over Sweetwater. Don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah, they'll be pretty straightforward. And then the second thing, ideally a lateral move with that would be the slime ring. I'm a big advocate of what everyone hates, and is just sitting on a 20-star slime ring. I love that. Especially if you only have 1, right? So if you can get a but
I gotta go Kana Treasure to superior to slime, right? Would be the order. Okay.
If you want to get a guaranteed 20-star, yeah. Which means that you're going past the 21 superior for that, which means that right now you want to have already at least a 21 superior, right? Otherwise, it's no worth downgrading.
Yeah, I have the. Oh wait, I don't have the 21 superior. Yeah, okay, so I'd have to get the 21 superior first. Okay.
If you're gonna make a 21 superior, then I would use that as a 21 superior. If you have the money to make a second one, then you can turn that into a 20-star slime. So.
Okay.
The Kana Treasure is in a good spot, right? And the same thing with the Kana Treasure. If you're going to make a 21 Kana Treasure to make a 20-star superior, you want to use it as a 21 slime first. So the second 21 Kana Treasure can go into the superior Gollux, and then try to tap that one to 21. If that goes, then you make another Kana Treasure to 21, do it into 20-star superior Gollux, see if you can tap that one to 21, and then you can go into the slime ring.
Okay.
Here's the flame ring, by the way. Yeah, you got it here. I see it.
Oh, okay. And then on the since the Kana Treasure right there, should I even think about rerolling that potential or?
Not for now. No, I would have all of my money looking directly into the gaping hole of the abyss that is Shining Starforce, and just trying to make as many gains on that as possible. Because even if you roll this to Legendary, which is, you know, a big entrance fee you have to pay for that, the only thing you would really want to, like, even 24 with some all-stat, which is probably what's going to be the best you could do, is just, like, barely a break-even. You'd have to roll 27 or higher. So I would just fully focus on the Starforce thing for now. See if you can make some jumps in the transfer ones, so like up to 20, up to 21 with some superior. Well, it's only the ring, right? Because I think your pendant's already there, your belt's already there.
Yeah, all my superiors other than the ring is 21.
And the E-ring is 21. Yeah, exactly. So it's mainly the ring. And how are you for coins?
I have
2K or something, right? Oh, 3K. Oh, that's really nice.
3K, yeah.
But you have no superior rings bought right now, right?
No, I haven't. Probably should buy them now.
Yeah, if you're not trying to min-max for 22, I would buy at least one before, so you can buy a second one during the event, but I would probably buy 2. And then a possibility for buying a third, just because of how many coins you have.
And that would help me save from Connor treasures, because then I don't have to. I could tap directly on the superior.
Well, you'd only want to tap the 20 to 21 on the superior, but so I would go for kind of treasures, or maybe craft Meisters if you don't have enough.
I have.
You have 5 here. Is that still?
Yeah, 5 backup. Yeah, I have 5 still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not an insane number. A little bit of bad luck could axe that out, but yeah. That might just be a matter of time. How are you doing for like primals and stuff? Could you craft some?
Yeah, I have
13. Yeah.
Yeah, I have 13 primals.
Are these all of your twisted times and grand spell essences? Because then.
I believe so. Cause I know I crafted 2, or I think I crafted 2 or 3 last shining, and it boomed. So.
Yeah.
I might have some spread out across the other characters, but I don't have any.
Yeah, before then, it might be a good idea to just kind of go and check and see if you can put them all into one place and just kind of see how much you have. Because for 13 primals is really good, but if you don't have the twisted times or the grand spell essences, then you can't do anything with them, essentially. I mean, you could like try to make dominators with it, but you know, that's not fantastic in your current position, right? It's not really necessary. You have a 21 superior pennant already, so you don't have to worry.
Where do those come from? I don't know. Is that a low number? I don't. Because I don't clearly I'm not dropping much things though.
The grand spell essence and the twisted times just come from killing monsters near your level. I think it's, God, I don't know the exact levels, but I think twisted times is like level 90 and up, and then grand spell essence is like level 140 and up or something like that. It's pretty low level monsters. So yeah, if you check all your mules, you probably have some lying around. But don't know the exact requirements for. I'll have all the jobs except for accessory crafting on this character, but it's like 100 grand spell essences, I think, and like 250 twisted times or something like that per. So it's not that cheap.
Yeah, I definitely need grand spell essences. I think I only have 68.
Yeah. 150, yeah. 150 grand spells per. And, 800 twisted time. Okay, see, I was way off on that. 35 philosophers, yeah. So, yeah, if you want to make all 13 primals, you need, like, you know, 1,500, almost 2,000 grand spells.
Okay, I have a bag. I have an extra 9,000 twisted times. And
okay, that's nice.
Only 700 grand spells.
Okay, so but with this, that's 4 to 5. That's 4 to 5 Meisters, right? That doubles your amount of rings you have, right?
Right. So yeah, it's definitely more than
10 is a way better situation to be in than 5. So it goes from a Hail Mary to basically just throw enough money at it and we're good kind of thing.
Should get at least 1 to 21.
Yeah. So by beginning of July, start looking at making yourself Meister accessory crafter.
Yeah, I have to get that again because I clearly dropped.
Yeah, no, that's totally normal. But it's as long as you start like in the beginning of July, you should be definitely ready by shining, and you don't have to like min max every single day, and also not keep it up for 2 weeks kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So do that. So you have rings. They clear up the rings part, the tattoo part. What are you doing with the bean mark? I see a dead monocle.
So yeah, the monocle. Actually that one was I got the day they announced the whole commercial change, like the day before a Twilight drop. Not a Twilight. The Pat Mark dropped.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So I got a random flame for it. I got a decent flame for it. The flame is I don't know the conversion off the top of my head, but it's 90 dex and a 3% all stat. So I got a pretty decent flame on it, considering it was last minute. And then I got it to transpose that first day because it was changing.
That's the craziest part about it. So yeah. Okay, so you're doing the Narrows. You had some, right?
I have a good amount. I have.
Well, I say some 1800. Yeah. So that's what is it? 250. So that's 7 backups. That's very solid too.
Yeah.
I thought it was 250, right? Yeah.
I thought it was is it 250 or 400? I thought one of them was
the
more
pendant, I believe, is 400.
okay.
Hang on, let me double check. I'm near there anywhere. Yeah, I can't believe like getting that good of a flame and actually being able to hit it. Yeah, 250. Oh yeah, the Sweetwater tattoo and the monocle are 250. Okay. The earring is 350 and the pendant is 400. Yeah, so that's 7 backups, right? Which is that's like guaranteed 21. Again, if you don't hit that, then it's just wildly unlucky. But depending on how much money you have, it could also be like we're just getting some on the items that don't transfer over, but you just that would trace and then just stay the same item. You could say I'm just going for 19 first on all of those, make sure they're all done. But since you already have so many 21s, you're mainly looking just for the 21 projects and maybe 20 in the terms of the slime ring, right?
Yeah, I wanted to try to get done commercially. I don't enjoy doing it, so I do it out of necessity more than
Well, the Twilight Mark will take the pressure off of the tattoo, and then the pendant. Yeah, the pendant situation is still like you probably want to convert this one to being fully damage. So that one line of drop rate just comes from somewhere else. You have an earring. I mean, it could be an earring just for a line of drop rate for bossing, and then you'd be done, right? Do you have any earrings lying
around? Sweetwater earrings?
If you have any, but
the only.
Well, ideally, you look at things that are legendary, that would like switch functions. Oh, maybe the face accessory, because I don't think. Oh no, you're using this one already with drop rate on it. Dang.
Yeah, I think I have.
A face, earring, pendant.
I would just have to get another item drop.
Well, I'm thinking the earring because the earring right now is double Meso. So if you're going just fully for drop rate because you're trying to get like the most kind of drops that you get from the boss, the earring won't help you there at all. And that seems to be the one slot that's like, available.
I get what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, okay, I could just pick up any random earring then. Because I don't have any other that are.
Yeah, but that one would fill up the drop rate for the pendant, and that'll allow you to go for full damage potential on the pendant. And then, with those the Narrows, I feel like, you could get some crazy booms, I guess. But I feel pretty good that you should get. Well, you're definitely at least going to get like 19 pendant, 19 monocle. But one of those should hit 21, and I think mathematically they should both. But I guess if they don't, if they don't, then you fall back on doing commercy for a bit more. But I've tried to aim for 21 on those two.
Okay. I'll probably prioritize the monocle and then look at the pendant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's somewhat more expensive. Maybe like bring them both up to 19 and then focus on monocle. So if you get like 19 pendant, 21 monocle, and then you're kind of low on the Narrows, then you can just pause there, and then at least you make like objective gains on both.
You have something, right?
Yeah, you have something to show for all the money you threw at it. Yeah, exactly. And then the pot on the pendant and the pot on the probably on the Fairy Heart are going to be like roughly on the same level, even though the Fairy Heart's already higher. It does have the lowest amount of junk lines in the game, so it should be pretty easy for like a 21, 24, 27 is pretty cheap on there. But again, that's all for after shining.
After shining.
Yeah. So which pieces? You mentioned Dominator Pendant.
Well, now that I have a 21, I know 22 is the big thing, but now that I already have 21 Dom Pendant, what do I do? I mean, 21 Superior Pendant.
Yeah.
Am I just saving those for eventual 22 Dom Pendant? I mean, Superior Pendant?
Yeah, and like a similar for that, and for a similar move like with the kind of treasure rings into the slime, but instead into the Source of Suffering if you ever get that. So then you'll use the pendant that you buy extra Superior Pendant like you're buying extra Superior Ring now, basically, to have as a in between. Yeah. So again, you can never really have too many of them. If eventually you want to go for 22, your inventory is going to be basically full with kind of treasure rings, Dominator Pendants, superior belts, superior earrings, and slime rings, probably, right? And then you want to have like all of those. But then the other stuff you can get rid of. So like the extra black bean marks probably no longer necessary, right? But yeah, other than that,
did I even think about trying to get the black bean mark higher than 17 star? Probably not, right? Especially with the change in levels.
Yeah, they're
drop.
Yeah. You have one for drop right now, and the other one. Do you have another one for damage?
No, that's just it. That's the only black beam I have.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
My other randoms.
No, I wouldn't, just because past 17, the money. The one thing you could maybe consider is getting the Diacitus earrings from 12 up to 17. So if you're like doing Chaos Horntail a little bit, just have like a few of them in the background, then you can tap it without safeguarding. Just because up to 17 is going to be relatively cheap, and it's going to be like pretty good value in terms of stat and attack that you can gain on that. And because it's also Meso obtained, right? So it does help you with the mobbing. So typically the drop rate ones I wouldn't push, because you're basically just opening boxes with it, so you don't need damage on them. Yeah. But the ones that are purely Meso, those maybe you want to look at maybe making a little bit stronger.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, just 17, not like 19, 20.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
That's a little much. Yeah. Let me go back to your original questions, make sure we have everything.
Yeah.
So priority for shining, make sure to double check, but you already have a bunch of 21, so those projects are all just for now on the long term, right? So it's just a matter of gathering backups. I mean, yeah, you get your cape to 17, obviously. You have one box, you bought a glove, so I guess with the other box, you just pick one of the other three.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Do I do one of the other three, or do I do another glove? But I should be doing 18. Like, I should be going from 17 to 18 on each one piece, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then going,
Yeah, ideally, we could just keep boxes forever and just open them whenever we need them. It really sucks. If you get a box like within the week before shining, then keep it as a box, right? Then you can keep it as a universal backup. But other than that, I would just like go until you have one of each, and then just start again from the top, kind of thing.
Okay, I get what you're saying, and then I understand.
The rings are good. I guess you have the Justikar is like a backup ring to fill up any slots in case something opens up. But that's not
once something goes.
Yeah, but you don't have like a full. Yeah, all your other ones already have drop. Yeah, so you can't use that one. So we'd want to use the earring there. Seeing if I miss anything. I mean, the flames, can be a bit better, but again, like we're prioritizing for Starforce now. Yeah, so ideally, I mean, I'd see you being at least at like full 18 arcanes, maybe 19, and then have all of your 21 projects done. I guess we didn't ask the most important question in the beginning, which was like, how much money do you have and what's your income at this point? But I mean, if you run out of money, you run out, so you just try to send them.
I have 70 bill.
Okay. And you're making like a little bit over 10 a week or something? A little bit less, maybe 8, 9.
But I think how many boss moves I have. So they only do my Night Lord does more, but the other ones only do everything under Lotus and Demon. They don't do Lotus and Demon.
Oh yeah, you're not doing hard on your main. Yeah, that actually takes a bit of the money out.
Yeah.
Okay, so more like 6 bill, 7.
4, 5. Yeah, post 6 to 7 bill. Yeah.
And then training on top of that.
Train. Yeah.
Yep. So hopefully something 8 to 9. Hopefully, if you're like grinding. Yeah. Okay. We got 2.5 weeks, right? So that's another 20-ish, hopefully.
We'll get about 90-ish.
So we can get up to 90. Yeah, that'll, with the new Starforcing system and shining at the same time, you can. Yeah, I mean, I could see you gaining like 20, 25 stars or something. It's gonna be pretty nuts.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's what I see too. So.
Yeah, and then you have some shitty potentials that you can start working on.
Right, that'll be You said I should do since I have a backup because it came from a box. I do my weapon to 19. Try it. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Not a big deal. Okay.
Yeah. Again, the weapon is the weapon makes the same weapon makes the same gains as the other arcane pieces, right? Past 17, past 15. Weapon makes way more gains before 15, so a lot of people like in their brain prioritize the weapon in terms of gains, but it's actually just the same as the other pieces. So you really want to make sure that you really only do anything if you have a backup that you get, because buying the backups is twice as expensive for that, but the gains are the same. So for the other ones, if you get further into the game, especially once you go from like 19 to 21 on arcanes, like much later, then for those it's okay to just buy another backup. But for your weapon, it might be totally fine to just stand on 17, 18, or 19 all the way until you liberate, because liberation swipes it out completely.
That's what a lot of people said. Just don't even get it up to past 17. But that's probably the people that have carries or are immediately into a black mage party. And
19 is free enough, especially if you have a backup to just give it at least a try. I think is worth the attempt. Because it's like a free 30 weapon attack, that you're just like potentially sitting on there.
Right.
But I went past 19 on both of my characters, but that's because I had like 7 backups in my inventory. So I even did it without safeguarding, because I was like, I'll just want to clear up my inventory kind of deal.
Yeah.
And it's another 8 months until I live. So, yeah. Worst case scenario, you spend 20 bill, but at least you have some inventory space and you tried. But both of them went decently well, like 2 booms or something, and then got to 21. So. But yeah, if I had gotten a lot less lucky, I would just like stood on an 18 or a 19 probably, because that is good enough. But it helps with the mobbing, it helps with all of the, and you're still trying to push towards doing the Lotus and Damien faster, and like Chaos Tenebris in a party, or being able to do normal Tenebris, if the party doesn't, if something falls through. But you also want to set yourself up, but it's another bunch of months. But I think at the latest, you want to be soloing Chaos Tenebris by the time you're liberated. Most people will start doing it a little bit before, but I think it's too stressful to do it without the extra iframe and everything. But at least when you're libbed, you want to start soloing it specifically. You don't have to, but just otherwise, there's no foreseeable future where you ever get a full setup pitched. And at that point, you might as well just do normal for the mesos and get out and play other characters, if you're not really trying to get pitched on your main character, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because otherwise, what's the point? That's like the only thing you can really aim for. So, or just grind out levels, and just kind of like leave all that by the wayside.
Right.
Okay. Did
I
we?
think you touched on everything. Yeah.
Accessories, Twilight, Ring, G-Slime, Shining Dawn, Arcanes, Boxes. Yeah, I think we got it all.
Did everything.
Yeah. Anything else you can think of?
No. If anybody's listening on YouTube or Twitch, you guys looking for another member for C10 willing to learn, I'll join up. Other than that, I'll go looking on my own. So.
All right. Yeah, that's Onami702 in NA Reboot. And maybe for a new age Black Mage, if anyone wants to ambitions to set up a Black Mage party for then. If you find one other person and you both find one other person, then you're already 4/6 of the way there. So, yep, it can even if it's just to start getting together around 270 just to do practice runs, just to get a feel for how hard it is.
Get in there,
yeah. Yeah, I think Decision says also like the boss menu is being used a lot more now. I see, especially during the summer update. So that could also be a thing, you know, you go into one rando run, maybe it's a shit show, but maybe you see one or two other people who are like, you know, that want to form a core of a more dedicated party, and then that's also one way to just try it, you know.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Hopefully the Shining gives you many benefits. Let us know how it goes.
Will do. Thanks.
All right. Good luck, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.
All right. Later.
All right. Cool. Wow, on time. I've been watching a lot of the Caleb videos. I'm picking up a lot more of the things on like how to be like a little bit more decisive, leading conversation, staying on point, and keeping track of the topics and everything. I feel pretty good about that one. I don't know if you guys noticed any difference on the on the session whatsoever, but we're pretty good on time. We're only a few minutes over. So yeah, if you guys are interested in having one of these sessions for yourself as well, make sure you check the description of the video or use the coaching command. I always forget, I'm mirrored over there on the top left, over at twitch.tv/Scardor. I do these sessions for people who request them in one of three ways. One is through direct donation, or direct, you know, fucking price, you know, paid session. Second one is to people who request them with the channel points from watching the stream for people who are subscribed over at Twitch, which is a more budget-friendly option if you are a frequent viewer of the stream. And the third one is to two random winners who leave comments on the YouTube videos who saying that they would like to win one of the sessions. So if that's you in that last category, make sure you leave a comment. Please include your Discord name so I can reach out to you. And like I said, two people win, and I draw the names at the beginning of the month. So you still have 10 more days in June, and then I'll be picking the winners for this month. So if you want that to be you, don't miss out. All the things we went through, all of the commands, we didn't go through as many commands, right? We really went more into the nitty-gritty of the upgrade path, because this is a follow-up session, and the past session we had all of those, you know, the minutia of the details of like where does crit rate come from, where does ID come from, where do you get your balance in terms of damage. Clearly, you know, that foundation is already here. You can tell by all of the numbers, like nothing is really out of place. Like everything is very much thought through already, so we didn't have to spend much time on that. But if you are looking for any and all of that information, again, you can use the commands over in my Twitch channel, available to everyone, even when I'm offline. Just use an exclamation mark and then add whatever topic you're looking for. And if you can't find it there, just use exclamation mark commands, and it'll give you a giant list of all of the available commands in the channel, and then you can find it in there. So yeah. Other than that, I think there's nothing left for me but to thank you for watching. And I will either see you in the next video, or I'll see you live over at twitch.tv/Scardor. I stream every day. Don't be a stranger. Say hi. If you have the time, I gladly have you. See you in the next one, or live.